Welcome to the 16-ounce Cinema Podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce Cinema, where we drink pints and talk pictures. I'm TJ, the Tingler. I'm here with Angus.
The abominable Angus.
And Michael.
This time I forgot to get a cool name. I'm a bastard. God damn it.
Well,
I forgot too, but when
me.
he said it, I just thought of something really quick.
That's a good one. You're a good one.
Thank you.
It doesn't surprise me Mike didn't have a name since he didn't even know what a creature feature was, the theme for tonight's episode.
Well, I just didn't know the exact definition, you know?
No, you knew
You
nothing.
struggled.
That's true. That's I Jon Snowed this one. You got me.
You
We
didn't know what
tried
the
to
word
tell
creature
you.
or feature meant.
We tried to tell you, and you, refused to listen to us.
No, we specifically told him on the episode what they were. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, perfect example. And then he just totally ignored it.
Yeah, and we sent him examples and lists, and he's like, nope, none of these people are right. But I still don't know what it is.
Well, my favorite part was, he was, citing people online saying, oh, they said this zombie movie is, that counts. And it was everybody downvoted them and called that guy a retard.
Hang on. We're talking about something I have in my notes. Let's not bring in the zombies.
All right, well,
Dude, if you
we'll
watched
share a little snippet of a conversation we had with Mike trying to explain to him the creature features. But let's keep this moving right along. We got some beers to go with our creature features. Tonight,
Creature.
Michael, you're first. Feature
Yes.
creatures.
So I actually got this perfectly. I have Magic Hat's Wee Heavy Champ because it has a giant sea monster creature on the label, and it's what my movie's about, a giant sea creature. So I'm very excited to drink it.
Is it is it got a bunch of tentacles and shit?
No, it looks like the Loch Ness monster with like Bowser horns on it, and then a really strong man with a wrestling belt on it, and then he's holding a keg. And it says "We Heavy Champ."
I almost got this one that was a sea monster one, and it had all kinds of arms and shit. But I was wondering if it was the same one.
It's supposed
So
to be
what did you get?
caramelly and chocolatey, and I'm really excited for it. So, and it's supposed to be complex, so it'll just taste like a regular beer to me, of course.
It's supposed to be what?
It's supposed to be complex. That's what it says on it's complex.
That's a fun way to say that word.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it a difficult beer to figure out? I don't get it. Is it a puzzle?
What kind of beer is it? It's a Scotch ale. Hang on, I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's an ale and a scotch, so it is difficult to figure out.
Oh, all right.
Is it
Let's
more
talk about
you're
your
Scotch
beer
gonna
so I
be-
can open this up. I'm really excited.
It means
What
you're
do you
going to
got,
be
Angus?
wasted by the time I'm talking about my movie.
Oh, absolutely. This is a 1 pint, 6 ounces, and 8%.
So, Angus, are you going to be on the floor by the end? What do you got?
I've got something from Rabbit Hole Brewing Company called Jabberbock. And on the top it says, "Hast thou slain the Jabberbock?" And there's
I have that on Criterion. That's awesome. It's a good movie.
the Jabberbock?
Yeah, I swear to God. I'll send you a picture
Jabberwocky.
later. Oh, shut up. TJ always
The
ruins
Terry-
everything.
Terry Gilliam?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, so it's really not
Yeah.
that?
No, it's close. It's
Well,
close
it's
enough in my head.
It's a Lewis Carroll poem.
Oh,
Is
that's
it
all right.
is it like a big dragon with a creepy face?
It has some monsters and shit in it. I think.
Yeah,
Actually, it
I
does.
think
It
it
does
could be
have a
that.
dragon. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It does.
Well, this looks like a dragon, but it has fucking Down syndrome face. And
You're
it
making
even
me think of, what was it, Macho Man Randy Dragon, that Skyrim mod where all the dragons became Macho Man and squeezed
yeah.
Macho Man liners?
that was a great video. I only
the-
wanted to play that game because of that.
The best mod video I've ever seen.
Yeah, so
What
I don't-
kind of beer is it?
I'll just read the thing. Lurking beneath the bready German base, this beast is a malty is malty as a bandersnatch and smooth despite the vorpal blades, providing a gentle warming. Unlike his dragon cousin, his hop is subtle through his tulgy wings are not.
I like your Iranian accent here.
I don't know where my accent went. It started normal and then it just got into it. Will you vanquish this mighty foe? And I don't know what the percentage is, but I think it's fucking high. That's it.
Angus's beer is a story. His is also complex.
Very complex. Because I
What do you
can't
got, DJ?
fucking read it.
Mine is not complex, but it dates back to 1888. And it says on the can, over 125 years ago, during the summer of 1888, the Foster brothers gave the thirsty people of Melbourne their first taste of true refreshment. I'm drinking a Foster's.
Oh, fuck.
An oil can.
Okay.
Why?
They were on sale. Buy 3, get 2 free.
Dude, he watched an Australian movie. I can already tell you.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
perfect.
but it ties in it more than just because it's Australian.
Crocodile Dundee is not a creature. He's a man.
Let's pop these.
Are we all creatures?
Going in my big old
Holy
mug.
shit. A lot of foam.
Mine's light on the foam because it's a lager.
Mine has so much fucking foam. But it smells
I
beautiful.
poured a good head.
Mine looks like the sewers water.
Ew. Oh, this is 25 ounces. I didn't realize the oil cans were 25 ounces.
Hey, we all got big man beers.
Big man beers.
Dude, that should be our
Alright.
brewing company.
All right, well, my
Big man
phone
beers.
tastes absolutely delicious. I love
I'm
this.
sure there's already a big man beers. There's got to be.
What about Big Man Beer Podcast?
Oh, it's a good name for one.
Let's just change
Let's
our name
change
to
the
Big
name.
Man Beer.
Yeah.
Oh, this
So-
beer is super drinkable. I like it a lot. I've
I
never
can
had
say
a
the
Scotch
same.
ale, so I can't really compare it to anything. But yeah, I like it. It was like $12 though, so it was a little pricey.
Mine's fucking great. I did not expect to
Sweet.
like it.
I'm gonna finish mine literally in possibly like 4 minutes.
Well, I just drank
Oh, boy.
some from my
is.
can,
Good.
but I have the foam like halfway up the fucking cup, so it's a really foamy
Yeah, mine
beer.
too.
My foam's already gone.
I haven't had a Foster's in like 10 years. So what's a Foster's taste like?
Like any other lager.
Oh, okay, cool.
You call that a beer?
I should have got the ale, but the store was out of them.
Super fun.
Michael goes
cool.
first with his
I shouldn't have
movie.
done that.
Michael, you watched a creature feature, we think, or supposedly, or maybe not.
All right, so I did watch a creature picture, and I chose it
Fletcher?
after hours and
A creature picture? A creature picture?
Neither of you have said it right.
creature feature. I win. I did it first.
Okay.
A creature fixture?
So I did hours and hours of excruciating research online, a lot
shouldn't
of
have.
arguments with as Angus had like
With
some
your
things
co-hosts,
like
yeah.
are zombies creature features, which we agreed they aren't. And then we were like, what about plants? Which was a yes, but only if they're violent and flesh eating.
Yes.
So after all that, I almost watched Night of the Lupus, a film about killer mutant rabbits.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Riff Tracks did
Yeah.
that.
Oh, did they?
I've seen it. It's funny.
I've seen it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's fun
I
even
did that.
without
I almost
the
did
riff
that
tracks.
because like I love rabbits. And what'd you say?
It's fun even without the riff tracks.
Yeah, that's how I watched it. It was one of the first like horror films I ever watched. That and the Night of the Living Dead, the original one. So
You love nights of living
I
shit.
do. The nighttime. And
Have you seen
daytime.
Night of the Comet?
Possibly.
I watched that like 2 weeks ago for the first
Having
time.
creatures in it.
Zombies.
Yeah. They're-
So okay, but instead of the rabbit film, I ended up watching Humanoids from the Deep.
Ooh,
And
I'm so excited! I want to watch this movie so bad. It's been on my list
I've
forever.
read about this.
I chose this almost solely because the main poster for it is really beautiful, has a hot
Yep.
chick on it, and she shows her lovely feet. So I was all for it. I was like,
And it has
that was
the
it.
humanoids on it, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
It
I read
it
about
the
this in
creatures like eyes on it and stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
a
I
Roger
honestly thought
Corman
about
book.
doing that.
Cool. So I knew like right away that it was a creature feature, even though I was still a little bit nervous, because during the opening shot of like seaweed vines in the ocean and like a beach, monster in giant red lettering appears on the screen. So like it was a huge load off my back immediately, because apparently the full title is Monster: Humanoids from the Deep, which just sounds really cool. So we start with like two really happy fishing dudes in a fishing village that's going belly up. Like everyone in the pier though is like super happy to be fishing. There's this guy who's opening up a cannery, which I guess like you take fish and put them in cans, which I'm sure, I guess I didn't need to explain that at all.
Cannery or a cannery?
I guess it's a cannery. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't
Cannery?
know what canery was. Like that sounds like
Keanu
a dog
Reeves?
thing. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, so they're putting tuna in cans. That's what they're doing.
They're putting Keanu in cans.
Yeah, he's gonna help us all become nutritious.
My movie had a cannery also. That's
There was a movie
We're
with
together.
Keanu being put into a can.
Keanu in a can.
Okay. I'm gonna take a drink of my beer.
Okay.
What's
entertaining
There's that
each
guy.
other?
There's that guy. Then there's some sort of like Asianic looking dude in a cooler boat. He has a cool boat. There's some guy bitching about the lack of fish, even though he's like dumping his trash and his coffee overboard. But everyone is like just happy to be all this thing. He's happy to be bitching and all that stuff. And I assume it's because like even in the 80s, like you could own multiple boats and like houses and shit just to have a shitty job. Everything was fine as long as you just had a job. So everyone was just super happy all the time. So I guess the main, these two other knuckleheads show up. And they got some fish in a cast.
I love these guys.
I love the term
Guys,
knuckleheads. It's such a great term that needs to come back.
So they're on a boat and they think they got a fish, but they really have the creature in the cast. What do you call it, like a fishing net or something like that? Yeah, that's what it's called probably.
Yeah, let's call it a fish.
Yeah,
I'm picturing I'm picturing Lonely Island stars in your movie now.
No, it's actually some old guy and then some younger guy who's also kind of old. Then
So
his
Michael
fat
Bolton
son,
and Andy Samberg.
there you go.
We're on a
the
boat.
guy.
We
the
caught
one
some monsters
knucklehead's,
that are gonna rape women.
Yeah, there's gonna be some raping going on soon.
God, does every movie we do have to, or every
Yes.
show we have to do, have to have rape in
There has
it?
not been one show without some sort of. You know what? It's
Mine-
not us. It's all these '80s movies have rape in them. That's not our fault.
Yeah.
I went out of my
were,
way
like,
not to pick rape this time. Because I was like,
Yeah,
my
well,
last movie was too rapey.
I chose.
Mine
enough
was
for all
only
of us.
attempted this week.
Not mine. Mine was straight up. It wasn't even human on human though. So I don't know if that's better or worse.
What would you prefer?
I would.
Like slimy humanoid dick, or just like regular human dick? I don't know.
Huh. I guess I would rather take the human dick than what I watched in this film.
Well, how long do humanoids take to come? Like that's the big question.
I guess it's depending how excited the raper is.
Well,
How excited would you be to rape me, Angus?
well, I don't know about you. Like you're not really my type, but
Well, we're
TJ
talking about me, so. you know.
TJ. Oh, dude, I'd bust in minutes.
TJ does blush when I kind of accidentally touch him, so.
Oh, I thought you were
he
gonna say
comes-
when you accidentally rape him.
I don't like being touched.
Okay, so one of the two knuckleheads is older and has a son, and he's a really fat. He's a fat '80s son. So if you just imagine a fat kid, that's what's going on. He's not really doing anything except he reads comics.
Oh,
Except
dude,
he
it's
doesn't
me.
know how to- Yeah, it's totally you.
You're talking about me. This is awesome.
And like as his dad yells at him, he like spills gas in a really foreboding manner, because he's a fuckwit. And then he immediately falls overboard, and Swamp Thing fucking devours the shit out of him.
Wait, Swamp Thing's in this?
Yeah, he eats them and shit, and like all you see is blood going to the surface. And then his dad is just like yelling. He's like, "No, not my son," and all that kind of stuff. And then just all of a sudden, the camera like pans back, and the whole fucking ship just blows up like Rambo showed the fuck up and just shot everything up.
Wait, how did
It's
it
just a
blow
huge-
up?
I don't know. It just blows the fuck up. That's it. It's just like, because I mean, he spilled the gas earlier, and then stuff is happening, but like I don't know why it blew up. It just did.
I was gonna say those monsters have a powerful load. They can just blow up ships.
And the best part of the explosion is it scares the shit out of this gigantic fucking pelicans that are like right next to the boat when it pans out. So you see these giant fucking dinosaur birds fly away. So we get back to the first two dudes, and these guys are dead, obviously, but they're now the main dudes we're talking about. There's a dad fella, and he goes by Jimbo, which is a cool name.
I like
Can we
that
just
name.
call him Dad Fella?
No, I like Jimbo because I call him Jimbo a lot. That's a really cool name.
Can we call him Jimbo fella?
Yeah, let's call him Jimbo fella. I'll try to add the fella to him.
Jimbo Dad Fella.
No.
That's a mouthful, and that's too much. I only have one mouth. I don't want to fill it.
I'd give you a mouthful.
Well, his dog starts acting really weird. So it's like he lets him out only for swamp. I'm just gonna call these things swamp things. 'Cause they all look like swamp things, by the way. They're just literally like swamp thing attacking everyone. So the dog goes out and Swamp Thing attacks and he tears the fuck out of him. And I don't know if you remember the scene from Apocalypto where they fight the jaguar, but it's really like a Muppet looking thing. Well, the dog here is a Muppet as it's getting like strangled by Swampy. I love it. It's just a really weird like little like stuffed animal.
Aww, that's adorable.
Is it just as adorable as the dogs from Monster Dog?
Yeah, actually more so because this one's a real dog. It's like a golden retriever. Those dogs are cooler.
I still love the one poodle.
Yeah,
that was a menacing poodle, guys.
That poodle rocked.
And then Jimbo dude goes looking for his dog. Like is that what we
Jimbo
call him?
dude?
Jimbo dude.
I forgot.
I forgot already.
I forgot too.
So Jimbo dude it
man, your beers are hitting you guys.
Can we call him Jim Bro?
Jim Bro.
Jim Bro.
Like he's a bro.
I like Jim Bro. I think TJ doesn't like it though. What does TJ like?
No, I'm accepting of that.
Jim Bro. So yeah, after Jim Bro goes looking for his dog, a bunch of townies in a pickup truck are about to have a party, and I swear to God, they have 24 packs of beer. And they're not even like going to sell them in a store. It's just for them to party. And there's only 5 of them. These guys
dudes rock.
But yeah, that sounds like a fair ratio.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of fucking beer. They weren't even sitting in the pickup, the back. They were like sitting around the beer and outside of it. There was so much fucking beer everywhere.
I guarantee you, when we lived together, we had more beer than that at one point.
You're right.
At one given
there was
time,
only
we've
3
had
of us.
more.
There's three of us. There's always at least 24 beers per each of us, but we planned to have like 20 more people there, but we only ever had like 10 at most.
At most, yeah.
I was gonna say 10 is generous.
Yeah.
10 is
One
really
time we
generous.
had like 13 or 14 and it freaked me out. But we had a tent, so like half the people went to smoke weed in the tent and it was fine.
Yeah.
You couldn't see them.
And we always had like a 24 pack in the fridge until like we went on like weeks of binge drinking until finally like there's only one beer left in the fridge and we were all too burned out to drink another beer. Remember the beer that broke the camel's back? And it was alone.
Yeah.
We didn't drink for 2 weeks. We were just hard drinking for like months and then just 2 weeks where we didn't have any drink at all. And then that beer was like
withdrawals or something.
That beer was like
who ended up
respected.
drinking it?
You. Months later.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, we left it there because we were like, damn, that's the beer that broke the camel's back. And like we respected it because that was the beer we couldn't drink. We finally got burnt out and couldn't drink it. And then like months later you got drunk and drank it and we were so mad at you.
I remember.
I don't respect anything.
Me and TJ opened the fridge, and it was like one of those things where like the camera zoomed out of our faces of shock and horror that it was gone.
It was like losing a pet.
We were frantically looking for it. It's like, no, maybe it got thrown under.
I feel so. What kind of beer was it? I feel
Probably
so bad.
Coors
now.
Light.
Yeah, it was
probably.
something stupid. Like it was a nothing beer.
So when Jim Bro finds his dog, the dog is just like in a puddle of its own self, like the Thing. It's awesome. And I don't know why. Like the Swamp Thing's never had any melting powers in the rest of the movie, but this dog was a puddle, so I don't know what the hell happened. Maybe they have acid blood or something.
Well, do they fuck with other dogs in the movie?
Oh
or?
yeah, just as soon as that Jim Bro. By the way, Jim Bro is like 60 years old, so I don't know why I'm calling him Jim Bro. Dude, but he does wear a party shirt at one point. So.
I was imagining like this like fit fucking dude, you know, because he's like
it's a 50-year-old
like
fisherman. Yeah.
Okay, well now I'm
heavy set fisherman.
Now I'm picturing Jimmy Buffett.
I can't. I think there's no salmon in Maine, right? So they have to be in like Oregon or something.
I'm not.
Oh, because they're near like they fish for salmon a lot, so it's like there's no salmon in like the East Coast, right?
I have
think
no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no like Atlantic salmon.
The Great Lakes I think have.
Fuck, would you know? You only know about plants. You're a plant guy.
Yeah. Well, why did you ask me about fish then, motherfucker?
He asked both of us in all fairness.
Angus. He was actually fielded to Angus. Like, this one's over to you, Angus. Tell us about fish tonight.
Well, you know, fish are a weird species.
Oh, am I right?
They got gills instead of lungs, but then some fish have both very rarely.
Oh, do they? That's freaky.
Yeah, humanoids.
Yeah.
We
don't fucking have
gills. They made a whole movie about them.
Oh, yeah.
Swamp things and lungfish.
God, I don't know how I missed that one. So yeah, as soon as Jim Bro finds his dog in a puddle, all the party goers realize all of their dogs are dead and fucked up too.
What the
except
fuck?
For the
Do they show like?
Oh yeah, the dogs are just flat dead. Just
wow,
dead.
This movie's really going for it. Usually it's just like one dog death, like to show you what the creature can do. This is just like a whole town of dog deaths.
We have another dog death coming up too, so we're not done with the dogs dying.
Only dogs die in this movie?
No, there's some more deaths. There's real deaths.
Well, thank God all dogs go to heaven.
It's people killing themselves because their dogs died.
So the only dog left is the Indian's dog, who I incorrectly thought was Asiatic. So he's an Indian. He's like, yeah, I got that wrong.
Asiatic?
Yeah, from the Asia area.
It would have been less offensive if you said
so
Oriental.
not quite like not quite
I don't know
Asian, but more Asiatic.
He's definitely not Chinese. Yeah, he's like.
Are you going for
like a
Polynesian?
Ooh, yeah, a little bit. He looks Hawaiian, I guess I should say. Or I thought, he actually looked really Hawaiian, which I guess would be Polynesian-ish. So next up we get a not so. Yeah, but they have ancestors.
Incest?
Ancestors.
They have ancestors.
The back, like their great grandparents, the ancestors.
Yeah, they
right?
fucked each other and became incest.
I assume they're dead at this point.
Hawaiians.
Let's pray to our ancestors.
I gotta pour myself some more mead here, or beer, or whatever this is.
Is it mead?
It's the color of mead. Now that I've drunk some of it, it doesn't look like swamp water anymore. So it looks like delicious nectar. So next we get a not so hot chick in a pretty sexy red lingerie dress thingy.
Hell yeah.
I can't tell. She's either 17 or 37, but she's on the wrong side of both. So
I really thought you were going to say wrong side of the law. it made me so happy.
Her face looks like a doll. I didn't know they had plastic surgery in the early 80s, but like she had a lot of work done at the age of 12, it looks like. And then this bitch is afraid of everything. She hears something in the bushes and she freaks out. Then she walked into dirty dishes and fucking just yelled and jumped. And then the phone rang and she screamed, and it made me scream because I got really like ah, I got nervous. She made me fucking twitchy. So I fucking hate her, of course. It does turn out that she's supposed to be one of the kids because her boyfriend shows up and he looks like Keanu Reeves from Bill and Ted. So another Keanu Reeves story here.
So he got out of the can.
He got out of the can.
Oh,
he's about to bang the doll who's 37.
Hell yeah.
The town throws a party that night. I assume the party.
All our dogs are dead. Whoopee!
Yeah, well, that's true. Actually, that's even weirder. All their dogs are dead, But as I was watching it, I assumed the party is because they hated the dead family, because the whole family just died, and they're having a whole fucking party about it, like the same day. It's not even a night later. And they're never mentioned again, and they were like a fucking fishing family in a fishing village. Fuck them, I guess.
Maybe they took all the fish.
Oh, they are about no, because everyone hates the cannery guy, cannery guy. Yeah. Speaking of the cannery guy, at the party, the cannery guy introduces a hot blonde scientist that is going to make all the salmon grow twice as big, and so everyone's happy and drunk. And then the engine ruins everything by bringing his dead dog to the party, which it turns out that the cannery guy killed. Well, because clearly somebody killed his dog because everyone thought that he killed everyone else's dog because his dog didn't die. So yeah. So he brings it to the party. I guess he wasn't invited because everyone's racist, and he's the only minority within like 500 miles. So they have to let it out on somebody. Yeah. He does have a cool line though when he comes in with the dead dog. He's like, "We're gonna put an end to your cannery, Slattery." Because, actually, that doesn't rhyme now that I said it. But it rhymed in the movie. Okay, the cannery guy's name is Slattery. So, he says, we're going to end your cannery, Slattery. But that doesn't make sense.
So,
cannery,
it sounded way cooler.
Maybe if you said cannery right.
Is it cannery or cannery? What are we talking about
cannery,
here?
Slattery.
What rhymes with Slattery?
Battery.
Cannery.
Oh, well, there you go. That's what he said. I thought it was great.
You didn't even know what he said. How can you think it's great?
What do you mean? I know exactly what he said. It didn't rhyme when I said it. It rhymed when the Indian fellow said it. He has voodoo magic.
We're gonna end your cannery, Slattery.
Anyway, it was a great one-liner from the 80s. So
Indians have voodoo magic to make words rhyme.
Well, hang on.
They're pure lyricists.
They're not voodoo. They're naturalists, right? What do they have?
You said voodoo.
Shaman. I did say voodoo, but I didn't mean it. I meant Indian voodoo.
Indian voodoo.
Insert the Indian thing that they do. I'm not Indian. I don't know.
That's insensitive.
What do they do? Yeah,
I'd just like to point out right now that Mike is the only one of us who went to college.
My best friend in elementary school was Indian, so I'm fine.
He did voodoo.
He didn't do voodoo. I did steal fucking cards from him, and I felt terrible.
You stole his car?
No, cards like baseball cards, like Jim Norton and shit, which is a baseball player, not the comedian.
Why would you use Jim Norton as the example?
I know, because he popped in my head. I couldn't think of a baseball player from the 90s.
That's the absolute
Kenny Lofton Jr. I stole a bunch of Kenny Lofton Jr. baseball cards.
Lofton Jr. It's Kenny Lofton Jr.
No, he played for the Indians.
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding. He played for the Indians.
Dude. You should have said fucking Wild Thing Vaughn from fucking Major League.
Playing for the Indians really got me. I got some more laughter in me. Oh. Okay, well, not as funny. A bunch of white guys beat up the Indian next because
that's hilarious.
Like TJ said, it's the 80s. And then our best friend Jim Bro comes in and beats up all the white guys because he's cool.
Boo, Jim Bro.
Yeah, Jim Bro's a badass. And then the dude getting it on his. Oh yeah, there's this dude having sex in his truck. He opens up his window like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And then somebody punches him. Everyone's swinging. I fucking love this movie. He gets a black eye and everything. It's great. So next, the plastic chick from earlier is at the beach, and she's I say she's smoking in a bikini. Oh yeah, she looks pretty good, is what I meant to write. So yeah, she looks pretty good. She no longer looks like she's 37.
Is she back to 17 and looking good in your eyes?
Maybe 23-ish. But she does have a very unfortunate face when it's close up, so that sucks for her. Meanwhile, Jim Bro has the scientist chick and the cannery dude out fishing, and they almost catch the monster. And she kind of seems to know what's going on. She thinks there's something fishy going on because she starts taking pictures of everything.
Dude, and, I love that pun. You rule. Don't think you can just slip that in without us noticing.
Little Joker.
I thought if I said it really fast, nobody would notice.
Oh, you scamp.
So Swamp Thing eats the boyfriend's face just as I was enjoying her bouncy tits, because like she has a big voluptuous set of tits, by the way, which totally make up for her face.
Nothing fishy about that.
Her tits would weigh a lot on
Oh,
scales.
and then Swamp Thing also Swamp Thing also appreciates her bouncy tits and he's all like, and he starts raping her. And that's what happens to
He's all like,
happens
and
to
he
her.
starts raping her.
So this is now the Shape of Water, just more forceful. That's the movie I'm watching.
This movie should have won the Academy Award that year.
It could have been the 1981 winner of whoever instead of whoever won.
Like just the DVD release or the video cassette release has like the picture of the humanoid embracing these screaming women.
So next, the townies talk about killing minorities. Literally, that's the next scene.
Isn't it only one dude?
Yeah, it's only one guy, but the one guy has conversations with other minorities that don't make it on screen. It's the craziest thing. I don't understand where they are, but he talks to them like off screen. It's weird.
Fucking Charlie's gotta go.
All right, now pay attention, because next, Billy the puppeteer starts getting this chick naked in the tent and asks, "Ever get it on with two dickheads, baby?" And that line works. By the way, Billy's a puppeteer. Like, he has a puppet made out of wood.
Part. You told me
Yeah,
to
you
pay
got that
attention,
part.
and then the first thing you said after pay attention was he's a puppeteer.
Cool. I'm glad we're all on the same page. I just want to know. I just want to show how badass Billy is, the puppeteer is, because that line worked. But just before he gets it on, Swamp Thing shows up, and he's just like, and he fucking kills the guy.
He wags his finger at him.
He wags his tail. No, this one has a tail.
Dikembe Mutombos him?
He's half Kaiju, or Keiju, or whatever.
Matumbos him?
Yeah, he Mutombos him, saying, no.
He does. He Matumbo cockblocks his Billy. Now, I'm not sure if the puppet survives or not, but you'll never believe this. The chick gets raped, too. There is now a rape epidemic going on in this town. While this is all happening, the townies blow up the Indian guy's house.
Because that's the main concern.
That's the main concern.
Not the fish rapist. It's the fucking Indian
they're not
dude.
aware of the... To be fair to them, they're not aware of the fish rape yet.
So, wait, do they think the Indian dude's killing their fucking dogs and shit?
Oh, this is all that happened. This is all happening within like the same 12 or 24-hour window, so they're not quite catching on that like everyone's being dead and raped.
This town is quick to react.
Well, no, they're still upset about the dog thing. Oh, yeah, you're right. They do find one dead body and they think it's him too. So I guess that is going on onto the Indian blame thing. So while that happens, Swamp
in this movie.
Swamp Thing tries to kill his white friend.
Mississippi Burning.
Oh, it made the movie better. But the Indian fights off one of them. A swampy gets killed, and we learned there's like multiple swamp creature things. And I should have probably mentioned this earlier, but every time the creature attacks, we hear like weirdly off-tune cat screeches. So it's like he doesn't make noise except just cat screeches. So just imagine like a bag of cats every time he attacks. Yes, actually, that's very close. That is weird. That scared me a little bit.
Did you think you were
There's
going
one right
to say
behind you.
noises and I wasn't going to make noise?
I mean, I didn't expect it. I was looking at my notes.
Angus said something.
Outside. Did he make the noises?
No.
I don't know.
I want to hear your cat bag noises, Angus.
No.
Yeah.
He just said no polite. All right, moving on. So there's clearly multiple swamp things now as this chick in a pickup gets killed. Or like she almost gets killed and she runs over a swamp thing. And then another one pops up behind her like, "Ooh, here I am." And he kills her. And then they die in yet another explosion. A really good scene.
He surprise birthday partied her. Motherfucker popped out of a cake and then got her.
He probably, well, you know how like pickups had those windows between the bed and the cab? He did that, and he rolled through the window and started like choking her because he has a fetish. And he died for that fetish. So
and then another one came out the glove box.
Yeah. Now this is like day 2 of the movie. Multiple people and rapes have happened, and there's a festival and parade going on.
Another party?
As you recall. Yeah, another party. As you
This
recall,
town
there
loves
was a
to get
dance
down,
party last
rain or
night.
shine or death or rape.
Fuck yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
I
this
want to
party-
move here so bad. Like,
I
this
know.
place is
Great.
I need some
badass.
peace and quiet. I couldn't.
You just
live
gotta
up to
protect
this
your
pace.
women. You gotta protect your women. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jim Bro, the Indian, and the scientist ruined the party by crashing it with a corpse.
That sounded like
of
the start
one
of a
the,
bad joke.
So what? Like
So Jim Bro, the Indian, and the priest, they all go into a bar.
Oh, I should have had a joke in there. I ruined that. That would have been so bad.
So are all
so
their
they,
parties ruined by people bringing dead things?
Yes. So these guys bring the corpse of one of the creatures, and then a fucking shitload of them attack everyone and start murdering them. Oh, and raping them. Murder and raping them.
Yeah, don't leave that part out.
There's another one that has a tail, and he kind of. There's 2 Kaiju. Some of them look like fucking little tiny Godzillas. One has 2 brains.
Hold on. Can you say that
Yeah.
word?
Kaiju.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's for the
Kaiju.
best of at the end of this year.
Fuck you.
I'm marking the time in my notebook now. 37:30.
Hey, you're not supposed to be playing with pencils. You have a tap consistency issue. So yeah, there's one of those guys. There's one that has 2 brains, and he fumbles and bumbles around, and he can't get laid. And I feel really kind of bad for him because he keeps trying. Like he runs after women, and they run away from him, and he just
Aw.
can't get any.
Poor
Yeah.
guy, he tries.
He tries. One dude gets decapitated because I think a monster thought it was a chick because he had long hair, but instead it wasn't. So he literally kind of it kind of showed up a facial of the monster, and he kind of looked like and then he just took his head off.
Dude, imagine if
so
that
I guess
monster was at that GameStop when Ma'am was there
Oh my god,
and then got
That'd
fooled.
that wouldn't even make the news. That thing would be dead. That's it. I mean, that woman would be dead, not that thing. That woman would die.
No,
Which
that's
is
that
worse.
thing.
That's still bad.
Don't confuse the two.
Luckily, we don't have murderous swamp things, so everything is fine. Oh, and then like for some reason it took me this whole length of movie to think that they all kind of remind me of Critters creature from the movie Critters, which I believe is also a feature.
That is absolutely a creature feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all kind of look like that. And so anyway, this whole scene is like one of my favorite climaxes of any movie ever, not just for this podcast. Like, this whole scene goes on for like 20 fucking minutes. It's just an orgy of murder and rape. Breasts are flopping left and right because whenever a creature attacks, the creatures just like pull off their tops because they need foreplay. That's their foreplay, I guess.
Dude, even the monsters know how to party, right?
Get naked.
Oh yeah. So that goes on for 20 minutes, and Jim Bro and the scientists end up setting the lake on fire, but they run out of budget, so it's really only like 12 square feet divided by 5 small fires. But still, like, before it pans out, it looks cool. And just the cherry on top next is Jim Bro's wife at home with her toddler, just like stabs the shit out of one of these things like 20 times. And it like keeps panning from her to the to the swamp thing to her, just stabbing it. It's really cool. And then one of the raped women gives birth to a swamp thing baby, and that was Monster Humanoids from the Deep.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that's it.
That was very fun. I like that.
That was alright.
I
like
love
that.
this. This was my second favorite movie I watched for the podcast. I'm very happy with it.
I love that Mike's getting more drunk and shouty by
Sorry.
the minute.
Yeah, I'm looking
no,
at yeah.
I'm enjoying
Okay.
it.
Cool. I think I started crying because my eyes are wet. I
You're
don't know.
crying?
I don't know.
The
You're
movie
crying
made you
because
I think I was so happy. I was like yelling and laughing, and I think I got teared up. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
This episode has got some meaning now.
Oh, shit.
So I believe Angus also watched the film
I
involving creatures.
certainly did, but
Yeah.
I want to mention, though, man, like that fucking beer I got, the Jabberbock, this is probably one of my favorite beers that I've had on the show. And
I will say this is my favorite beer I got on this show. This is great.
Mine is
Like-
a beer I've had on the show.
dude,
He just left out.
this shit must be strong because I am fucking buzzed right now.
Yeah. I am not buzzed. I am drunk. But nobody likes to hear about drunk people. So let's talk about movies. This is what the people came in for.
Dude, I
Yeah.
black out almost every episode, so these people must love listening to drunk people. Like,
Jesus.
you guys remind me of shit I said the next day. I'm like, fuck. Really? Alright, so yes, I did watch a movie, and I was the one who picked the fucking theme. And one of the reasons I picked this theme was for this movie specifically, because I saw it listed on Amazon Prime, and it was the most fucking ridiculous title I've ever seen in my life. So I had to watch it. And the movie that I watched is called Mansquito.
No.
But it's also known as Mosquito Man. Like, that's its proper film term.
I like the first one.
Yeah, no, like, on the actual, like, fucking thing on Amazon, it says Mosquito Man. I'm like, shit, that's fun, that's funny. And then I looked it up on IMDb, and it said Mansquito, and I'm like, why the fuck did they not go with this? That is genius.
Is the tagline, "Bzzz, bitch"? That'd be great.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't use the Mansquito one. Like, that's so much fucking better. Like, for the thing. Even though Mosquito Man brought me into the fucking world. Dude, I'm fucking drunk.
Mosquito Man brought
Holy
you into the world?
Yeah, I was born by a mosquito man. I don't think I told you.
So this movie is like your sacred animal. This is movie is you.
Sacred. Dude, holy shit, TJ is
my.
gonna just be dealing with two fucking assholes during his movie. I can't wait. Holy shit.
So tell us about Mosquito Man.
It's Mansquito. Dude, if they did a sequel and it was about a girl, it would be Mamsquito. That'd be fucking awesome. Alright, so my movie begins with the fucking, the
credits.
Yeah, that's
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, it is. Holy fuck. Like, my thing had to be like fucking 12%. I don't fucking know. So the production company that made it is called New Image, spelled with N-U.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I just imagine they're big nu metal fans.
Huge new metal fan.
Huge.
The mosquito was actually voiced by Jonathan Davis. He's just uncredited.
I was
looked that
raped. Dude, that explains why I went buzz.
That's trademarked. We can't put that in the episode.
Yeah, don't fucking take that, Jonathan Davis. That's my shit. Fuck. So the movie begins with, like, news footage and, like, they're talking about, like, the West Nile virus. My movie is in 2005 is when it was made.
Okay.
And,
Before the swine flu. Okay, makes sense.
yeah, no, West Nile was the big shit right then.
Topical.
So we get this detective and he's given, like, his whole backstory and shit. And he's talking about, like, oh, this is the day my life changed forever. And he's talking about, like, this dude that he put in jail. And this dude is being transferred. But he didn't realize that this guy was being transferred. He thought, because the dude was on death row, he thought he was going to death row. But turns out he's not.
Where the fuck's he going then? Where do you go from death row?
To Cash Money. shit. All right, so
Were you hoping for that setup?
no, it literally just came out. Like, honestly, if I'd have thought of it, I would have went No Limit, but the first thing was Cash Money that came out.
Okay.
Okay, so he's going to Cash Money,
Yes.
What happens next?
signing a new deal.
There's some scientists and doctors and shit talking. One of them's like a real it's like a a doctor dude and like a chick
dude?
doctor.
Dr. Dude. Jim Bro and Dr. Dude.
It's
They're
like
going
a
to team up later.
Doctor dude.
It's like a
Alright,
doctor
so
dude,
he's-
but it's a chick.
No, there is a chick. She's scientist bitch. That's what I labeled her in the notes. So
This
there's
was like 30 years after my movie, so this is actually the descendants of Jim Bro and Scientist Chick.
yes. All right, so the scientist guy is like, he's like a really bad actor, and he's like, we haven't even tested them on humans yet. And like, that was his line, and it was delivered just like that, and then he just kind of walked away.
It's a good line.
It was a great line, but it was just so weirdly delivered. So now, like, they're putting floor cleaning product on fucking mosquitoes. And I guess it's like some kind of radiation shit, and they like drown the mosquitoes in it. And now that prisoner, like, they're supposed to, like, they're taking him to this lab secretly instead of to death row.
Oh.
And what he does is like he's going in, and then like he undoes his fucking things with a bobby pin, and then he grabs a cop's gun and starts just killing everybody. He kidnaps a woman in there in the lab, and like he's like, I'll shoot her, and then he just shoots her in the spine.
Well, that's the terrible hostage
Yeah,
situation.
he
What the
didn't
hell?
even he gave it no time. He was like, I'm gonna do it, and then he just did it. He got nothing he wanted. So since he fucking shot that one, he was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna fucking tackle this woman. So he fucking runs at her and fucking, he Goldberg spears her into like the
Holy
fucking
shit.
laboratory. Like, it's like, they're doing like this like experiment in like one of those like tented off like fucking outbreak looking tents, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he fucking just tackles her right through it, and like all the shit's flying everywhere, and then like the cops start shooting at him, and then he's shooting at the cops. There's a giant shootout. The cops shoot the fucking radioactive mosquito thing, and
Just
like
imagine you're watching a Western. This reminds me of every Western from the 60s ever.
it kind of is.
What?
No, it's very
I mean, you know,
westerny.
minus all the scenery.
Very westerny, like, except radioactive mosquitoes. Like, no, I'm on
Yeah,
board
exactly.
with that. In laboratories.
Nice.
You know those old West laboratories? Dude, I came across those in Red Dead recently.
Call it a saloon, but we know what they are.
So anyways, they shoot it up, the fucking place blows up, the dude gets like this fucking goo all over him, and then he just runs and like escapes through a tunnel. His fucking veins are going like big and crazy and shit, and then like it shows his hand, and his fingers slowly start to get like sucked in.
I hope they just use footage from The Fly and Jeff Goldblum.
He
Just
just
superimpose the footage into this film.
well, they do like kind of like it does look a little bit like that kind of shit, but like honestly, it's pretty well done for like a fucking a movie called Mansquito.
Mansquito.
Fuck,
So
dude.
good.
Mosquito Man. That's
Whichever
why they
you-
This is
changed
like
it.
this is like a decade before Sharknado. This is like
Mosquito
this
Man
is crazy
just-
stuff.
Sounds like it has better production values.
Yeah, this should have been fucking viral like when it came out. Like this is just a hilarious title.
They should just remake it.
Like
Who? Okay, if they remade
Mansquito 6.
Mansquito, who would play Mansquito?
wait, what?
What?
If they remade Mansquito tonight or to this year,
Tonight?
like who would play?
Tonight?
Who would play him?
We have
Keanu
3
Reeves.
hours to make this movie, boys.
That wouldn't be Keanu Reeves.
Mansquito. Who's a good like bloodsucker?
Al Pacino.
No, who's the black guy from Solo? That guy who played Lando. He'd make a great Mansquito.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover would make a fantastic Mansquito, I think.
So since
Of this movie that you've told me 5 minutes of.
since he didn't get the role of Spider-Man, he gets to be Mansquito.
They should call it Mansquito. This guy's a mosquito.
Could you just imagine Donald Glover ruining his career because he wants to make a Mansquito trilogy?
I love that he didn't stop at one.
I would love him. So that'd be the greatest thing ever.
Directed
Dude,
by
let's write
Ted
him.
Raimi.
Ooh, I like that. Fuck, I
Produced
forgot where
by
I was.
Clint Howard.
Alright, the dude's finger's stuck in, and then just all of a sudden he has like a giant fucking insect arm. Like a big spiky one.
Oh no.
And he's spying on some chick in a bar, and then he like punches a sign angrily. She's walking home. And
Wait, is he cool with being a mosquito?
He isn't quite a mosquito yet. He's only got the one arm.
Oh, okay.
And, like,
but he's still into chicks? This guy fucking rocks.
Yeah, he does. Well, your fucking sea creatures love chicks.
That's true, you're right.
Like, it just proves, like, fucking women rule.
Women do rule, man.
What the fuck are gay guys thinking?
No, I wouldn't know.
Sure you wouldn't. We're just talking about raping each other 30 minutes ago. And how quick we'd come.
You got a point there. You got me there.
Alright, so the chick's walking home, and, like, she's getting catcalled, right? And she's just ignoring him, and my favorite part
Wait,
is...
she's like, bzz, bzz.
Knucklehead.
Fuck, dude, that threw me off. Nice bzzzotti. Can I see your bzzoobs? Alright, that's so stupid. Alright, so my favorite part is, like, she ignores them, and one dude throws a bottle at her, and she doesn't give a shit. She just keeps walking.
Nice.
And
rough
there's...
town.
You gotta ignore that, yeah.
Yeah, there's, like, mosquito men and men throwing bottles.
Dude, both our towns are fucked up. Yeah, your town doesn't give a shit. My town likes to party. It doesn't matter.
I hope TJ's a nice, wholesome town.
No.
Nothing bad happens. Alright. Prisoner broke in, and he's begging her for help. And then he starts to morph more, like his legs stretch out, like all, like, fucking skinny, fucking brown and shit.
Skinny jeans.
Yeah, he wears skinny jeans. And then all of a sudden his face just becomes a giant mosquito face. And he has like this big spiked mouth. And then he just starts sucking blood out of her titty.
Damn.
Yeah.
So he got her.
Wow.
Yeah, he got her good.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. It's always hard to get away from a mosquito, so I can imagine like a 6 foot tall mosquito. I'd be like, yeah, here's my titty.
How many times would you have to smack it to like make it smush? If it's fucking 6 feet tall.
Make him say bzzz.
I bet that makes him. He has to have like a 15-foot blood sucking antenna if
Dude,
this was like true to life.
It's huge. It's like fucking maybe about like a yardstick.
Holy shit!
It's fucking enormous.
Terrifying.
Yeah. And it's like this. It's like the fucking tube is like the size of like a poster tube. You know that they send you like posters in the mail.
Holy shit!
It's fucking creepy.
Wow.
So, the detective's checking out the lab crime scene. The woman scientist, she's, I guess her and the detective are like a pair.
Banging. Oh.
They are banging.
Yeah.
So, but she starts to notice a little redness on her arm because she got a little bit of goo on her, but she tried to ignore it. They check the crime scene of the dead bar lady. She was drained completely of blood. She's completely like gray. And the bad actor scientist now is angry that his project is being shut down because of this. So he's just grumpy drinking in his like fucking office. Nice. And the mosquito man drops from the ceiling and just starts sucking his face off.
Oh, no. Did anybody at any point think this was vampires?
No.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
Nobody got, like, they were just like, oh, it's the crazy guy. Instead of, like, shooting him, he decided to just start fucking putting tubes in their face and draining blood. Like, they didn't understand any of it. So now we're at a nightclub. There's more people dying. They're on a date. The scientist lady is like eating a very rare steak, and she keeps soaking up the blood on her plate and like sucking it off the fucking steak.
That's really sexy.
That's sexy.
TJ, does your film have a scientist lady?
No.
Shit.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. God said that once.
Meatloaf?
Yeah.
He is God.
I said a god. You know, there could be multiple.
No, he's
He is
the
just
God.
one- he
I
is
understand.
One amongst many.
All right, so Mansquito starts killing bums now in the park.
Fuck yeah. I support this.
Wait, has he killed a dog yet?
Shit, I don't think he did kill any dogs.
I mean, when you have humans, why would you kill a dog like that?
Wait, maybe he did. Fuck, it might be somewhere in my notes later. I kind of vaguely remember a dog somewhere.
Vaguely. Do you get blackout drunk every night?
Kind of. No, this movie, like, I kept, like, not looking at it. I kept, like, looking at my phone at other things and then just looking up, like,
I just imagine you were listening to other new metal songs because of it being new. You're just like, I can't help it.
Well, it is funny because I was creating something for our new metal group while I was watching the movie. You guys will see it soon, like in the next couple days. I'm very excited about it because it means you guys have to listen to
listeners
new
will
shit.
because you're talking about our little private Facebook group where we giggle at each other over new metal.
Well, they're invited. We
Yeah.
invite all our new metal fans to come into our new metal group.
If you
We'll
can
invite
find
you.
it.
Just give us a message on Facebook.
Yeah, just message
Anyway.
us. You'll be in the group. If you like new metal and us being stupid, you'll like it. All right.
And if
Anyways,
you don't like new metal, you need to hang up right now.
hang up
Whatever,
the
whatever the
podcast.
podcast is wilderness.
Dude, that sounded like an old man trying to figure out like podcasts. If you don't like it, you can hang up. All right. Scientist chick keeps smelling flowers and she's eating a lot of sugar and shit. There's an uncomfortable sex scene, and there's very generic like R&B music playing, and
I
it's
don't
like
see nothing wrong.
with a little loving bite.
Bzzz.
Bzz. No,
With a little
this
buzz
was
and
this,
grind.
this is the actual
Pretty
thing.
good, you guys.
This is the actual thing. It was, girl, if I tell you you fine, would you say that you mine?
That's pretty catchy.
I loved it.
Yeah.
That's an easy pickup line. Hey girl, you fine. She's like, I'm yours.
That's it. Those fucking sea monsters got it all wrong. They should have just complimented the girls. They would have went fucking
Yeah,
willingly.
you're right. You're totally right. They would have been like, "Oh, really? You think so? You could be in Playboy, baby." 'Cause that's how they talk.
This fucking Indian dude's been telling me something different. He never called me fine.
No, I love you, Swamp Thing.
So she gets red eyes and she can see his veins like through his body.
Oh.
So she
that's hot.
she cuts his chest open and then just starts sucking blood off of him.
Holy shit.
And he's just like, honey, stop. Honey, stop. The phone's ringing. And he didn't give a shit that she cut him. He's just like, oh, fuck. Like, but he didn't care.
Speaking of bleedy chests, I was watching this this man deadlift 900 pounds today, and his chest started bleeding. That's ironic. That's kind of funny that you also mentioned chest bleeding.
From where?
What?
I watched stuff. So he was deadlifting, right? Like shirtless, and when he lifted it up, like his chest started bleeding in 3 different places.
Like out of
it
like
just
pores?
Yeah, like it started spurting blood, and like his last lift had like blood pouring down his chest. It was fucking great.
Like his enormous muscles ripped his skin.
What people were saying is he probably had steroid acne, and it popped because his blood pressure went so high when he was lifting 900 pounds that they just ended up popping while he was lifting, which is apparently somewhat normal in that field of bodybuilding.
I was gonna say that's never happened to me.
No. The worst I pulled my back once because a hot chick went by when I was lifting weight, and now my back hurts. That's the coolest thing that ever happened to me.
I just imagine you.
Yeah, it was literally exactly like that, Angus.
You do that thing from like a ZZ Top video where you see her go by and just like swing your arm and point at her with the weight and fucking pull your back out.
Yes. The next morning, I'm like, she wasn't worth it when I couldn't get out of bed. Now I just jerk off before I go lift weights every time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Fucking bleeding chest dude just like do you remember like old westerns when like they would get shot a bunch and then they take drinks of water and it just like starts spraying out their chest?
They're just like, give me some water. And they're up the next day. They're just like they're fucking doing whatever they did back then. They were a different breed, man.
Yeah.
They don't make men like they used to.
Men came from a different sort of stock back then.
I don't know what I was watching like a Western film like a week ago, and this dude like his tibia like exploded. Except like Indians stole his wife, so he's like, I'm gonna walk a week just to get my wife back, and he did it. And I believed it, even though it's just a movie.
And I would walk one full week.
Are you talking about Coming At Ya?
I'm talking about Bone Tomahawk, yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you watched Coming At Ya.
Oh, no.
Because half of all Westerns are revenge flicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, phone's ringing. He didn't care that fucking he got cut. He goes and sees the dead bums. She runs.
New metal people don't fucking care about cuts. Come on, man.
No.
Not every day of the week.
New Metal USA.
Yeah,
she runs into the bathroom and is morphing, like a bit. Not as crazy.
Ninja Turtle?
No.
What?
Oh.
No,
I meant Power Ranger. I don't know why I said Ninja Turtle.
She got bit by a turtle while this man got mosquitoes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Mansquitos.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Scientist bitches. All right.
His bitches are the best.
They're at the murder scene, and the detective decides to go down deeper into the tunnels. There's like fucking tons of dead bodies he finds down there. Mansquito attacks him, but his bullets won't work on him. He keeps shooting him, and nothing's happening. And then Mansquito just starts bitch slapping this guy around.
Yeah,
like just
Mansquito
non-stop
rocks.
bitch slaps with his fucking
Mansquito
giant
rules.
claw.
I'm imagining this is like 7 minutes into your film. I can imagine this.
Dude, the thing is, like, I'm really far down the list. Most of the movie is just this thing killing people in really gory ways.
Nice.
Like, there's so many fucking kills. It's insane.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I can't talk about all of them. Like, there's just too many. I've skipped, like, fucking probably 13 kills.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
That's a lot of murder.
So the monster has him, and then he's like, fuck, my bullets won't work. So he grabs his taser and starts shocking it, and the thing's like, fuck you. So he gets out, he escapes, and his partner thinks he's crazy because he's telling him about, like, the fucking Mansquito. And then the bitch scientist, like, she's down in the lab, she's checking her blood, and she's like, it's mutating.
I'm a mosquito. Oh, no.
So then the
That's
Mansquito...
the subtitle for the sequel.
Imagine your reaction, like, if you go to the doctor because you have hemorrhoids or something, and he takes your blood, he goes, you're turning into a mosquito.
Oh, no.
What do you do at that point?
They do that.
What do you do, man?
They do that slow glasses take off, like, my God.
Oh, my God.
You're turning into a mosquito.
No, but then, like, before he
no.
says anything, like, a guy in a suit comes into the doorway and, like, blocks your way out.
I've seen this before in 1983. Alright. Fucking... The Mansquito finds her at the lab. She faints. The detective gets her. He takes her to the hospital. And Mansquito is on top of the building just watching them like a fucking gargoyle.
I thought he was like roaring over the city.
So, like, is he wearing, like, full-on mosquito attire, or, like, what is it?
What is mosquito attire? What do mosquitoes wear?
Like jeans and a
Like,
jacket?
wings and shit.
Mosquitoes wear Levi's. Relaxed
I'm
fit.
having trouble picturing a 6-foot-tall mosquito.
That's what it is. It's just a giant mosquito.
I've just been picturing Baxter Stockman, but with a snout.
No clothing. It's just a giant, gross-looking mosquito. Like if it was 6 fucking foot tall.
What is it, like
So,
CGI or is it like?
Yeah,
Is
is
it
this
a
like a
Muppet?
No.
puppet or is this a guy in a suit?
It's a mix. Like they mix
Oh.
between That's what I'm saving
Okay.
something for.
Okay.
I'll get back to that. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Detective gets her. They go to the hospital.
Gotcha, bitch.
God, the bitch.
Got excited.
She tells him that he's more mosquito than man,
He's more
And-
mosquito now than man.
and that means that Mansquito only wants 2 things: blood and mosquito pussy.
Yeah. Get that skeeter puss.
And skeeter puss.
Oh no!
That really does sound gross. I don't like it.
Well, you're not a mosquito.
Skeeter puss sounds like a girl's already got it like blown into her, and then you got to do like the last round. And you're like, you're doing cleanup. I don't want skeet puss. All right, so the fucking Mansquito is waiting for her to turn into like Mamsquito, and Mansquito is now outside, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. So he grows
Oh, nice.
fucking wings.
Yeah.
So now he's got these fucking wings, right? And now he can
fly?
fly.
Yeah.
So now
Fuck yeah.
he's flying through the hallways of the goddamn hospital, just killing SWAT team members. He kills like fucking 15 SWAT guys, just
This
flying.
guy's a
through-
murder fucking spree. Holy shit.
There's about 100 dead bodies in this movie.
Ooh.
There was one dude, he took his like little fucking claw and just sliced half of his head off. And then my favorite thing is the last fucking SWAT guy, he just stomps on his fucking head and smushes it.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of like
love
the way
Swamp
Toxic Avenger would do it. It was awesome. So now the detective's partner gets killed. She breaks out of the hospital and steals a cop car. The dude, the detective, he shoots a rocket launcher at the Mansquito and blows up an entire hospital floor.
Oh my god.
Like the entire floor just gets blown up. And the funny thing is, he thought his chick was still on the floor, and like he's like, "Where is she? Is she okay?" But she left, but she would have been fucking dead if he did that. So, scientist bitch now, she's back and she's purposely releasing the mosquitoes outside. And now there's like an underground fight between the goddamn the bug mosquito man and fucking the detective. And she comes along and like tricks him, and they trick him into like a big electrocution field. And they both die. And the detective is writing his report saying she saved us all. The end of Mansquito or Mosquito Man.
Cool. That's a cool movie. So I believe we have this is a triple creature feature because TJ also watched something.
Yes, I did actually. I almost didn't, and I was just gonna come up and make up a movie like Mike does. But I
Fuck
figured
you.
I know what creature features
I thought
are.
this would be one episode where I don't get my feelings hurt, but here we are.
Hey,
not a
buddy, I
chance.
didn't say anything.
I
still
still say
love
not
you.
a chancy, or say a word wrong. So since I knew what a creature feature was, and I wasn't going to spend one of the 2 weeks we have in between episodes trying to figure out what it was, I might as well just watch
you.
a creature feature. So I chose 1984's Razorback.
Oh my god, that is the year of my birth.
It is your birthday.
No,
That is some points.
thank you for saying it correctly.
Oh, shit. You're right. You're welcome.
Wait, no, you meant to do it wrong? And you fucking did it right? That's so fucking funny. You meant to fuck it up and got it correct.
So TJ's gonna watch some movies with hogs or something.
Yeah, yeah.
He watched Wild Hogs.
He wants another movie with
Wild
Larry
Hogs.
the Cable Guy?
Get her creature. No. So the movie starts with a bunch of like silhouettes against a red sky, and it's in Australia out in the desert, and there's like a little windstorm going, and you see like the windmill starts turning, and there's an older man in a house, and there's like a baby sleeping, and he's just comforting the baby like, oh, it's just a storm, you don't have to worry, but in an Australian accent, and then
In
like
what
outside
accent?
you
It's
hear
always the best.
an Australian accent.
Okay.
I was hoping he had like a Mongolian accent in Australia or something.
And then outside you start hearing
Go to
pig
sleep,
noises.
baby.
Baby,
That's how I
go to
imagine
sleep.
Mongolians talk. I don't know.
I never met one. I don't think. Maybe. Well, no, actually, I think no, that was a Mormon. And then outside there's a swing bench that starts going.
Same thing.
No, that was legitimate. I was thinking of this girl in an art class in 8th grade.
How do you mix up a Mongolian with a racist underwear wearing magic thing? Like I don't know.
Magic
It's
thing.
two different things. They wear magic underwear, you know? That's why he was
Magic
never elected
underwear?
president. It's the magic underwear. Yeah, the Mormons wear magic underwear.
No, that is a
Protects them
legit
from
thing.
Satan.
He's right. I wish I could shit on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not
Did you
up to
ever
speed on
sniff
much
this chick's magic
underwear
panties?
news.
No, yeah, it protects them from Satan. I'm
Can I
just
talk
saying,
about
that's
my-
their religion. I'm not making fun of them. I mean, I am, but
Can I go
that's what
back
they
to
believe.
my Killer Pig movie? Because this is just too much
Oh.
for me.
Hold on.
Sure, man.
The chick.
You're the one that brought up Mormons.
The chick from school. Like, what number wife was she? Was she number like 6?
You know what? I don't remember.
Well, it's 8th grade, so it must have been at least the third wife.
I read poetry.
What a fag!
Maybe that's why I
That
thought of
remind-
my. That's maybe
That
that's
act-
why I thought
that
of.
extra. That does remind me of the fact that I actually used to write poetry in high school, so I take that back.
Queer.
I just realized why I included Mongolian in that memory is because I was into reading Xanadu, which is about Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan's son or grandson or something historical like that.
Oh, we're all fucking his grandson, man.
So
He
see
fucking
now
raped half the world.
now my stories all come together, but my movie's still lost in the Australian windstorm. Okay,
You think
so
there's
now
Mormons in Australia?
I can visualize your movie perfectly because I am currently staring at a Wake and Fright poster right in front of my face. So whenever I think about it, I'm like, what can I picture? I just look up and there's Australia. So it's perfect.
there you go. Yeah, red and sand.
Dude, that's like
Yeah, that's exactly what it fucking is. That's amazing.
you're treating it like it's your footprints poster. You're looking up to it. For there was
All
only
right,
one
so-
Australian walking with me.
Tell us about the pigs. Come
He
on,
won't
man.
let me.
Don't
So
leave us
mad.
hanging.
So
love
you
bacon.
never get a clear look, or whenever I'm talking about this until I tell you, you never really get a clear look at the pig. But so anyway, this pig starts shaking the house and then just bursts straight through, leaving a big giant boar-shaped hole from front to back. And then like the old man like comes through the wreckage and realizes the baby is gone. And then the house
Oh.
burns down.
Oh no.
And then the next thing is this guy is on trial for murder, which surprised me because I thought boars killing babies are common in Australia, or just generally like bush
That's
animals
dingoes.
killing babies. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess if you had said it was a
Yeah,
dingo did it, they
you're
would have
an
been like,
Australian racist.
that's normal. You can't say it was a boar that did it. And I guess the problem was that boars aren't typically big enough to demolish houses and burn them down. And this guy is
Probably
also
true, yeah.
an expert hunter. And so they say, what happened that this boar did this? Usually a good boo will scare it off. And the guy on trial, like the guy they're questioning, who's like the expert in boars, he actually yells boo.
I hope in the trial they bring in a boar and they bring in a guy and he goes boo, and then the boar runs away in the courtroom. That would be amazing cinema.
I just imagine the board just goes like, "Oh fuck!" and he just runs.
I'm out of here. I don't know if boars make that noise. Anyway, no, he yells boo really loud, and like everyone in the courtroom gets scared. And then there's just one guy.
I get scared.
One guy who just goes. He thinks it's funny that everybody got scared.
He's part boar. You're watching the boar man.
Boar man.
Anyway, the hunter guy, he gets away with it. His case is dismissed, and we cut to 2 years later. 2 years
he didn't
later,
get away with it. It's not like he killed the kid.
No, exactly. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
2 years later in New York City, there's this animal rights reporter chick, and her dude, her fiance, are watching.
She sounds.
She wanted to be a scientist, but she couldn't. She couldn't.
Exactly. She was a reporter.
Yeah.
So basically, she's gonna go to Australia, to the small town, to investigate like kangaroo poaching. The one thing I really noticed about the scene where she's talking to her dude is that they have a really, really, really tiny kitchen. It's like the size of a walk-in closet, and he's cooking wearing a tie. So, so she goes to the small town, Australia. It's actually filmed the same place as Road Warrior, Broken Hill. So the small town, wild emus are just running around with the people, playing, having fun. The name of the town
I
is...
have a question about the emus. Can I ask a question about the emus?
Is it like biological in nature? Because I'm not an expert on emus after watching this movie.
No.
Or boars.
Did New Zealand, which is close to Australia, really have a war with emus, or is that like a fiction on the internet? Like that's not you can't have a war with animals, right? Yeah, that's a stupid question.
I'm just imagining.
You watched a video where somebody cut Braveheart into like an emu thing?
No, there was a thing on the internet that New Zealand had a fight with emus, and I guess when you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense, but it made sense reading it. Like
a war.
How do you fight emus? They're like 3-foot little roadrunners. They have sharp beaks and claws.
New Zealanders
Australia
out
doesn't
in their
have guns
trenches, wearing emu ears.
Plus, what side of the foot? I mean, what side of the war would the Aborigines be on? Like, would they be with the people or would they be with the emus?
They'd be in Australia. Not New Zealand.
Well, New Zealand. I bet New Zealand have Indians.
Wait, what? Indians?
Yeah. Yeah, well, no. Well, whatever the indigenous people of New Zealand would be.
You think all indigenous people to one place are called Indians? No matter where it is in the world?
Name for them. Well, I'm not from there. Indians seem likewise logical.
Those indigenous Chinese Indians? North Pole Indians?
Mike, why don't you try the N-word?
Gypsies?
Natives.
All right.
Okay.
Natives. Okay.
Oh my god.
So,
I got it.
I was scared you were really going to shout it.
Yeah, I was really nervous about what you wanted me to say.
I was biting my lip no.
What do you say? I felt like fucking Randy Marsh. Like, what? You're setting me up here.
I slowly looked like the cameraman.
Natives it is. I learned something today, a valuable lesson.
Speaking of Aborigines, the name of this town is Gamulla, which is the Aboriginal word for intestine or gut. So it's Poop Town.
Colon.
And so they're outside this bar. A guy goes by on a camel. I don't know,
what?
They just like, oh, it's Australia, animals.
Yeah, I have a funny camel fact. Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely.
The Indians went to war with them.
Saudi Arabia imports camels from Australia. I don't know if you heard that over there.
Wait, so camels are like...
No, so Saudi Arabia imports camels from Australia.
So camels are native to Australia?
I don't know if they are or not, but but I do know they are imported to the country we all think that they belong to.
IMDb trivia did not tell me that one.
We're all going to Google this later. But
No,
for now,
All
it's
right.
fact.
Yeah, we're gonna get the angry tweets on the Twitter that we don't have.
I'm Googling the fucking epic emu war of fucking 2012.
Where did they like firebombing emu villages?
Listen, all I'm saying is neither one of us would be able to kill a couple emus. They're fucking badass chicken things.
Yeah, I'm
That's all
picturing
I'm saying.
like Vietnam but with emus.
Dude,
Yeah, like imagine us being in a ship with like 13 other ships and we land in New Zealand and there's a bunch of fucking emu creatures. that don't
Emu
like
D-Day?
humans. We'd fucking die.
12,000 men
saying.
died storming the emu beaches.
They call it Emu Jima.
I liked it. I liked it.
That
I love the
Bob
idea of
Dylan
emu
wrote a bunch of
internment
songs
camps.
about it. Oh, we both said a thing at the same time. What was yours?
Damn it. Mine was emu internment camps.
Oh,
oh, shit. They steal the babies and make breakfast.
I was almost like, that's racist. I was like, we're talking
Fortunately
about
for us,
emus.
Emus can't write letters to like.
They
There's
can't
no
tweet.
NWACP for emus, so we'll find.
Emu can't tweet.
I really hope a bunch of emos are listening and they think we're talking about them and they get pissed off.
Those still exist?
What are they gonna do? Cut themselves? Fuck them.
They sign their angry letter in their blood.
Are there still like there's like old emo kids now, like sitting in offices with side bangs and shit?
Yes! I kind of look like one.
Writing lyrics on their arms in between sending out emails.
I should have been born an emu.
That war would have been differently if I'd fought with my brothers.
Dude, that's what happened to the emus that like fucking didn't sign up for the fucking
They turned into
war.
emo kids.
Yes. They fled and
terrible.
came to America and became emo kids. Those are emus in disguise. Da 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 da. Emus in disguise. Oh shit, this is stupid.
I hope this doesn't lead me to buying Angus an emu toy like I did for the other.
Oh,
toy
you're
segment.
so gonna like drunk order all sorts of emu memorabilia. Little statues of the war, like emus raising their little emu flag on a hill.
Angus, just ask your wife in 2 or 3 days if I ask for your address again.
Shit.
Okay, so they're in this bar,
will-
and I actually wrote in my notes that these beers look really good, like cold beer on a hot day. They had the right amount of foam.
Nice.
And so the reporter chick is trying to like interview these different people and kind of getting nowhere. And she runs into the hunter from, the beginning, if you remember that far back in our episode. And
It seems like a lifetime ago.
she's like, well, you're a hunter. What do you hunt? He's like, I hunt boar. And she's like, why? She gets some animal rights thing. And he says something about blasting the shit out of a razorback that just brightens my whole day. And then he drives off. Also
Yeah,
outside
that's
of this
cool.
bar, there's a Mad Max truck that has like the crazy plow on the front and it's full of meat hooks on the sides. And that's there. The camel walks by drinking a Coke for product
What?
placement. 1984. Coke
When
was
did this
big.
movie come out? Oh,
1984.
you told us already.
Yeah.
It's actually drinking a Coke?
Yeah, it has like the Coke
they-
in its mouth and knocks it back. I guess they didn't want to give
How?
the camel a beer. Like the camel like pokes its head in a window and they just handed a Coke.
Oh, okay. I was like, how does it do that? That's weird. Does it smoke a Camel cigarette?
No, and it doesn't get punched
Dang.
either.
No.
Oh.
Wait, Camel punch? Camel clutch.
So the reporter chick goes to check out this meat factory / cannery. And she's kind of like peering in and poking around. And this guy just breaks a window to stick his head out. And he goes, "What's up your hole, you American shit?" And
Holy shit.
yeah, and it's these two like really creepy like Mad Max guys, and they drive the Mad Max truck. So she
What the hell? Is it your movie just Mad Max or what the hell? You're watching Mad Max.
So
You're lying
she
about the rest.
drives off, and then like the Mad Max truck starts running her off the road to like Terminator music. If I don't know if you remember the music in that first Terminator that had like the loud like metal clangs in the midst of like the march music. It sounded just like Terminator, and they came out both in 1984. So.
Does
And then
New
I had a
Zealand only know how to make Mad Max movies? Like, why is everybody Mad Max?
Oh, just wait. Okay, so then like she gets run off the road, and then this is where that attempted rape is.
God,
One guy's
more
like
rape.
flashing, has like a spotlight at the top of the Mad Max truck, and he's like flashing it all over, and then the other guy's like attacking her. And then you see like the point of view of the boar, and it's like kind of like sneaking up on the whole situation, and then it rams into the Mad Max truck, and everyone scatters. The Mad Max dudes run away in the car. She gets back into her car, and then the Razorback just smashes through the car and then starts crushing her, and like there's the tusks going at her, and there's blood, and you hear like sickening bone cracks.
So is this boar like genetically modified or something,
No,
or
it's,
is it just
it's
a
just
boar?
big and hates people.
Oh, okay. I can believe that in Australia.
It's like
okay.
Jaws, but a pig.
Yeah, if this was set in Mississippi, I'd be like, this is unbelievable. Knowing Australia, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fuck
Yeah,
those boars.
a
Yeah.
boar the size of a truck.
Way more believable, yeah.
So now she's missing, and the hunter, his name is Jake, Jake Bro, and
Jake, bro.
he knows the Razorback has returned, and now so now back in New York, her boyfriend, his name is Carl, Carl dude, he flies in, and he gets on the trail. He gets to the meat factory guys, and like he starts like hanging out with them, and they like just chuckle a lot and make goat noises. It was just weird.
I don't know if that was good.
That was like their dialogue. Now we cut to a random dude knocking back Fosters. This is why
Hell yeah.
I had to have Fosters, because we just keep cutting to this random guy in his house just watching TV, like watching like game shows and shit. And he's just like in his like white tank top after work, knocking back his Fosters.
Well, who is he? Is he become a person, or is he just a guy?
Just a guy. But his shed gets destroyed by the boar, and he's kind of just like, oh.
I got a question about Foster's. They say it's Australian for beer. Does it really translate to that?
Bear. Yeah. So now
Ignore
we're back
that. That was so fucking dumb.
with Carl and the meat guys. One of the meat guys has a great shirt. It's like this baby blue shirt with pink, red, and orange flowers on it. It was nice enough that I wrote it down and shared it with you guys. So like Carl's trying like hanging out with these guys, hoping to find out something, about his girlfriend's disappearance. They don't know that, he's the boyfriend. He hasn't revealed that to them. So then what was I calling him? Carl dude? Carl dude goes out kangaroo poaching with them. But he doesn't have the stomach for it. And he, the first one they shoot, he throws up on one of the meat guys. And he says, I thought you were a tough hombre. But in Australian. And so they ditch him. And he, in the night, it gets cold. So
Did he just ditch him in the outback? He's gonna die.
Yeah. So he gets cold.
The boar's gonna get him.
It would have been funny
curls
if he
up
puked
next-
in the kangaroo's pouch.
Well, he curls up next to
he's
the
like,
dead kangaroo to stay warm.
Fucking Mansquito gets him.
And then a herd of boar come, and he freaks out and runs away. And then he has this total freak out. And he ends up having this crazy trippy nightmare where he's like just wandering in like the desert, but then it's like all sorts of different colors. And then like this boar skeleton comes to life, and it's just a skeleton like making creepy noises, scaring the shit out of him. Just bleh! And he's and after all his wandering and stuff, he collapses at this girl's house. This girl is played by Arky Whiteley. She was in Mad Max 2. She was the blonde who wore a pink headband, if you remember that.
No,
I do remember that. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I watch that movie a lot. So.
So Arky calls Jake Bro, and Jake Bro decides, immediately he's gonna go out hunting the Razorback. Now we go back over to Foster's guy, and he set up this trap with all these like chains and everything because after his shed got destroyed, he wants to capture this big giant boar. And then the boar gets all tangled up in the chains, which are also chained to Foster guy's house. And then the boar runs off and just rips half of his living room away into the bush.
This Foster's guy sounds like the guy in Tremors.
He's just comic relief.
Except not. Okay. Hope he dies.
Are you
Now
saying
we
like
go
the
back
guy
to,
that's badass, like Michael Gross, with the
Michael
glasses?
Gross? What?
From Tremors.
Oh, I don't know.
That's his name.
I don't remember.
That Mike was supposed to answer that, not you. He's the one that brought it up. All right, fuck you. I'm done.
So now we go back to Jake Bro. He sees the boar. This is probably our like best shot of the boar, and it's big and ugly and nasty looking. We actually get like a little jaw zoom, like or the camera moves away, but then zooms in on him, so it's like extra effect. So Jake Bro starts shooting the boar, but it won't die. But Jake Bro manages to get a tracker on it, but then because the boar gets away, he screams. He goes ah!
I didn't know they had trackers in 1984. That's wild.
Yeah. So Jake Bro goes
35 years ago.
He finds this big old pool where like the boars would hang out, and there he like starts
like in a pool.
Like the city pool.
When the guy was running from the boars, there was a whole scene where he got like trapped up on top of like a big old weather vane in the middle of this pond.
Like, do they have pool noodles
no, a
too?
Pond, like a pond, not a chlorine pool.
Oh,
not the community pool. Like
that's
there's
what
a
I was
lifeguard.
picturing.
No
Razorbacks.
They had like pina coladas and shit. Just fucking
If you like
the fucking
pina
belly flopping all over the
coladas.
place.
The boars go down like a twisty slide into the pool.
I mean, that was
Boring
one
folks
Jimmy
in the
Buffett.
rain.
That was one Jimmy Buffett thing too many in this episode.
That's not a Jimmy Buffett song.
Oh.
His realization
Booyah!
of that. You just crushed his world.
Wait, who sings the pina colada song?
Not Jimmy Buffett. I know that much.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that. All right.
Ace of base.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, Carl Bro, or no, not Carl Bro. Jake Bro finds Carl Dude's girlfriend's ring in the boar poop, and so
She's been cheating on him.
So he tells.
He goes back to America brokenhearted.
Been
So
fucking
now
this boar.
The Meat Boys catch Jake Bro, and they bust his knee, and he goes ah again.
That's about right.
And then Jake Bro gets himself into like this water pump shed. But then the boar comes and then just crushes the shit out of the shed, and Jake Bro is killed by the Razorback.
Oh, that's sad.
And now Carl Dude is figured out that the boar ate the ring, and he's kind of pieced together what happened. So he goes to fight the Meat Boys now, and he has a fight with one of the Meat Boys. They call them the Meat Boys.
So they're not even fighting the boar? These people are stupid.
So he fights the Meat Boy, and like he leaves him dangling in a mine shaft, and then the Meat Boy falls and dies. And now like the whole town is up in arms against the Razorback, including the camel guy. So like they're all in the bar, and they just decide to like go out Razorback hunting, and so they all run to, and the camel guy is running on the camel and everything, and they're like get out in the bush all together, and then like somebody says I see him, and they all like freak out and go to it, but then it's just a baby boar, and someone's like, that's not him, that's just a baby boar, and then one guy's like, well, back to the pub, boys, and they all go back to the bar.
Oh, fuck, Australia's lucky nobody ever wants to invade their shitty country. They would just fucking die. I bet New Zealand could even take it over.
I bet emus could take him over.
Yeah. I think the Chinese are taking them over. They're just buying a bunch of land.
Oh, good.
They're gonna be Chinese. It's It's gonna be China, Australia soon.
So now Carl chases Meat Boy number 2 back at the meat factory. And he finally gets him cornered, and he has a shotgun to his head. And the Meat Boy is like, "I'm a kangaroo!" And then they both just burst out laughing.
Was he a furry?
I don't know, but Carl still has the shotgun to his head. And then the Razorback storms in.
I was about to ask where the fuck the Razorback is.
Now it comes. It storms in, and excuse me while I fuss with my notes and turn the page.
I still think it's funny that you fucking write them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just imagining there with the...
I'll never get over that.
He's got, like, reading glasses on, writing them down. Like, oh, interesting.
Dude, in 300 episodes, when one of us dies, I want all those notes to be sold on eBay or something. I would love those.
They'll be worth so much.
I've saved all mine on my phone, so I can't bring myself to delete them.
No, don't delete them.
Yeah, no, I keep my notebook. I'll keep my notebook when it's full.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, at the end of the year, we should just all release our notes as one big dump.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of fun.
I don't want to type mine up. Yeah. It'll be in PDF. I'll take
pictures.
pictures.
You can. I have a. What is that thing that you put in and it scans it? What is that called?
A scanner.
Yeah. You can scan it.
Seriously, dude? Yeah. Really, college?
I don't scan. This is in 1999. I don't fucking scan things. I don't know what. Whatever.
You have it.
I do have it. I just don't. I mean, I don't.
Dude, I have this thing that.
Let's get back to the hog.
I have this thing that
you don't
prints
know what
things.
it does.
What's it called?
I mean, it prints, it scans, and there's a third thing it does. There's not a fax machine. I don't know what else there is.
Copies.
Well, oh yeah. That's the third. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm in your house. That's how I know.
It doesn't clean my house.
What it does.
So
of course
the hog does.
The Razorback chases Meat Boy number 2 and then gores him and mauls him.
Yay!
And then Carl dude gets back into the factory, and then this is the big final showdown between him and the boar, and like he gets up on a catwalk, but it rams the support beams and he falls down, and then Arkley turns up there. Remember, she's a chick in this movie. So she's running around with it too. They try to beat the Razorback with a shovel, and they run away, and it falls back and gets a pipe in its neck, which then hits some electrical wires and gets electrocuted, which is a great moment. And then it still walks away until finally...
I was hoping for a barbecue.
Finally, Carl dude lures it up onto a walkway that ends in like where they would like chum up the meat in this big grinder. So he lures it to that, and it falls into the cutting blades, and then the Razorback dies. And that is the end of 1984 Razorback.
Thank God.
Thank God.
All
right. Now that we've gone over our movies, that brings us to our next segment where we tell our best bullet points, trying to sell each other on our movies. So, Michael, you went first. What have you got?
All right. So I wrote this out as selling point / like it's a 70s movie. Happy adventure time. Let's go have fun outdoors. Because that's what happened here for about 15 minutes. After the truck explosion, if you remember, the monster got out of and they died. Anyway, so after that happened, we rounded up a posse of the scientist, the Indian, and Jim Bro, still without a joke.
Still
Sorry,
love
Angus.
Jim Bro.
To find out what's going on, because 7 dead people is one too many in like 24 hours for this town. So they did the posse thing. For some reason, they dress like Power Rangers. I don't know why.
I was
What,
hoping
like
in
straight up in
clowns.
armor and like...
Yeah, no armor, but like sort of like they wore like suits you would go into a chemical warfare thingy with.
And bike helmets?
One wore all green. Yeah, one wore yellow and one wore blue. It only happened for like 4 minutes, but it was freaky.
4 minutes is a lot of screen time.
Yeah, and they dress like Power Rangers. Yeah. The scientist lady said they'll only attack at night. But half the creatures attacked in the daytime, so she's a stupid scientist.
Yeah, they all are.
This is going somewhere, I promise. Then they go fishing because I think the editor fell asleep. So they went fishing for a little while. And then they go spelunking. Like I said, they're having fun outdoors. They went spelunking because this is now a family adventure film. Fortunately, they
Those were
find the
popular
nest
back
of these
then.
swampy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
they
was
find
just
the nest
reading
of
there
these
was like
swampies.
this like whole like market survey that said like what can we do to get working class families to see more movies? Because like typically it was like higher educated, you know,
The answer was
college males.
rape.
No, the
So
answer
wait, you're
was
saying- you're say-
family fluff nature films. So like things like The Adventures of Grizzly Adams was one of their big successes as the result of this like
Who gets
you're
raped
saying
by the bear?
You're saying my swampy rape film has an adventure scene because they wanted families to see it? That's
working
awesome.
class families. They found
Working
out
class, like fishermen,
they were into family friendly nature themed movies.
Rapes.
like dead dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
So they find the nest of these swamp things, and then they just blow the shit out of them with shotguns. Like there is just, and then the swamp things are like, and then they die because they got shotguns.
You made me feel like I watched it. You're so descriptive.
Yes, thank you. So they were just kind of like, so the monsters were kind of like sunbathing before the 3 Power Rangers interrupted. And then I swear to God, the camera pans on this one who had like a really shocked face
As he
And
dropped
if it
his
had a towel,
sunglasses.
it would have pulled up his towel, like, oh no, I'm naked, no.
Pulled up his towel.
But it didn't have a towel, so it didn't have a towel, so it just made that face. There were like 5 of them, and they just kept slowly attacking, and one almost drowned the Indian. Otherwise, it was a total massacre. And then afterwards, one just kind of shows up randomly, sees the family dead, and starts attacking, and then dies because they have shotguns. And the monsters just have I don't know.
So your
shit.
selling point is shotguns and nature time.
Oh yeah, the whole nature outdoor, having fun outdoors, and then boom boom bow, and then that's
Boom,
basically-
pow.
That boom boom pa.
Yeah.
the boom boom bow, yeah. And that is my selling point. Thank you.
I'm
Angus,
on that Nate.
tell us, sell me.
Mansquito is worth watching for something.
The what?
Yeah.
What?
You sell us a
What?
movie now.
Yeah, Mansquito. He looked fucking fantastic. The special effects were great on him. Like, I can't express how like good it looked on him before he got the wings. Because
The wings make him look stupid.
the
or
wings
what?
make him look fucking retarded as fuck, man. Like,
Oh no,
dude, it's so awesome the way they did the special effects. Like, it was like old school, like kind of Stan Winston type fucking shit, and like just really cool looking. But as soon as it got the wings, like it just went to shit, and they went digital with it, which fucking sucked.
Oh.
But before that,
you talk about your movie. I keep thinking it's 1985, but it's 2005.
2005.
So it ruined it. Yeah,
Like,
it ruined. It should have been made 20 years earlier.
it started out like a movie like that, where it would have been perfect for that time, the way it was done and everything. And then just when he got the wings, it ruined it.
That sucks.
I guess that's not really selling it, but also,
Well, no, he looked cool.
no, it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then just all the deaths. There was so many fucking deaths in it.
Nice.
Very
yeah.
fun.
You mentioned those. I love deaths.
That's it.
good.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Okay.
A lot of deaths.
Well, what I have is that so my movie was actually directed by somebody, Russell Mulcahy.
Crow.
Mulcahy.
God, I thought you were gonna say Russell Crowe.
No, I might be saying that wrong. So this movie looks way better than you would imagine a 1984 Australian movie about a killer pig would look like. To kind of put it into reference, like this guy directed The Shadow.
Mad Max.
No, not Mad Max. He's not George Miller. He
He
directed
was
The
a cinematographer
Shadow.
for Mad Max.
He did some like Tales
Thunderdome.
from the Crypt episodes, but also Highlander he directed.
What, the first one?
Yeah. So like there's amazing use of light, like when you first see like the opens where, like I said, there's that windmill, but there's like a dust storm, and then like light filters through the window or the windmill and all the dust. So he uses a lot of like, also he alternates a lot between like high and low angles, so there's a lot of good movement in the camera. Also a lot of fog. You know how I love fog. This one goes out to you, Mike. In that factory scene at the end, there's indoor fog.
Ooh.
I know you love indoor fog.
That's wild. I do love indoor fog. It makes no sense. I love it. I love things that are nonsensical.
The use
For some
of the
reason, I thought it was
creature
going to
is
be a
pretty
factory
good.
of feet.
Yeah, I thought that's where I was going too.
Like he directs that creature pretty well, kind of, you know, like that whole Jaws thing where you don't see it too much, so it kind of maintains the mystique of it. Also with like all this fog and like dust and the way he moves the camera, the movie ends up with this like kind of like strangeness to it, especially because of like that weird nightmare sequence. It's hard to describe that, but it makes it seem like it's like different than just like a B movie. It feels like just like more depth there because of that.
It's not a B movie. It's a bore movie.
It's a really good looking movie, and also had really good music as well. So it like has this atmosphere, just kind of like creepiness, and you know. So that's my selling point for Razorback. And that brings us to our most favorite segment ever. It's time for us to relate all of our movies to Paul W.S. Anderson's classic Event Horizon, and a segment special to 16-ounce cinema, and we call it The Horizon Shift. All right, Mike. So, how do the humanoids board the Event Horizon?
All right. So bear with me here. Let's roll. Okay, you guys ready to roll? We're ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So the fucking scientists, am I right? They always fuck shit up. They want to make big salmon. Boom! Swamp Thing's raping women. That's what happens when you want big salmon, right? Swamp Thing's raping women. So next, fucking Dr. Weir, right? A fucking scientist, right? He wants to make interdimensional travel happen. Why? I bet we still have world hunger and shit. I bet Baby Bear and Cooper don't give a goddamn about interdimensional travel, right? They just want to get home for Christmas and make love to their women or to each other. I don't know, whatever.
To each
other. What happens? What happens?
Ooh, I love that plot.
Fucking scientists, right? Dr. fucking Weird, the scientist.
Dr. Weird?
Overstepping known quantum mechanics. Boom. Hell shit. Fucking hell shit. And that's my horizon shift. The fucking scientists.
I like the way you pitched it.
I loved it.
Thank you.
But did you say Dr. Weird?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
I love it.
I got too excited I couldn't stop the D.
Dr. Weird is awesome. I know my next screen name for AIM.
Oh, it's taken. You got to be Dr. Weird in 1997.
Dr. Weird 1765.
All right, my horizon shift is very short. Holy fuck, I'm dropping my headphones.
Dropping the mic already? You haven't even given it to us, bro.
Yeah, that was premature.
And done. Top that, motherfuckers.
Beat that.
All right, so when the scientist bitch's arms are like mutating and shit, they look just like Kathleen Quinlan's like son's like fucking goofy legs.
Oh, gnarly!
Like
holy shit!
They have
That's
the
wild.
exact same fucking like rot and everything. It's pretty fucking cool. Like it was identical. Like I even like looked it up to compare the two, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
Very cool.
All right, so I was actually a little late to record our episode because I was desperately trying to beef up my horizon shift a little, but I gave up on that. So I have I have two, one a little bit more substantial than the other. Of the very tenuous one is don't forget where Sam Neill came from. So did my movie. But more importantly is that Russell Mulcahy later in the 2000s got known for directing things like sequels like The Scorpion King 2. But more relevant to us that brings him into our realm is he was director for Resident Evil Extinction. So you know all of the connections that immediately makes. Yeah. And that is my horizon shift for Razorback.
Hey, you guys got to get on my level on these shifts, man. Come on.
I felt I had I was trying. I felt I had a decent one. I tried to beef it up. I was looking to see if he directed any of the main cast, and maybe he did, but I didn't have time to find out.
All right. Now it's time for democracy in action.
Time to vote. Michael, you get first round.
Okay, so I have to ask before I vote. What the fuck made you watch this goddamn Boar movie?
So, remember when you didn't know what the fuck a creature movie was? And we
still, you
one
guys
of the
can't
lists
say it.
we sent you was like IMDb's top like 100 creature features. Yeah.
Yeah, it had zombies and zombies.
Yeah, I
We
looked at
don't
the same
count
list. I looked at that same list,
Okay.
and you know what was on that list?
And you
Razorback.
Okay. You made a mistake.
You know what else was on that list?
What?
Not Mansquito.
So if I had a gun, if I was a gun owner, I would have killed myself during TJ's speech. So I am 100% voting for Angus in every possible way. That's a great movie. I would watch Mansquito. And I think Mansquito would kill that Borg within like a second.
Dude.
Oh no, he probably would
Seconds.
kill the boar.
Mansquito's he would bitch slap that boar. And then just
Angus?
fucking suck
I
its
still stand by
titties.
the cinematography of my movie. It was beautiful. It was a great
My
watch.
special effects are better.
It's
except
so
for flying.
so rare that I actually enjoy a movie I watch for this show.
The thing is, like I told you guys, I was bummed about my movie, but it wasn't because like I hated it or anything. I was just like, fuck, man, like I don't know because it was just nothing but like killing and shit, like, which is awesome. I love that. So I was very
Nothing to
entertained
say,
by
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what to
No
say about
gritty,
it.
gory details.
I gotta say, the bottom of my beer's bottle cap smells like a fucking rotten mango. I just wanted to
Ew.
say that.
Remember,
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
we used to know a girl down the street from you, Mike, that had a mango tree in her front yard, and we'd go there to hang out. But like, they would always just let the mangoes drop and rot, and it was
Dude,
disgusting.
that is exactly what it smells like right now, dude.
Yeah. Oh
I wouldn't have been able to hang out there.
no, it was
No.
inside smelled like ferret.
I would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah, inside ferret, outside mango.
And her
rotten.
stepdad, when he would clean the car,
Let's stop talking about this girl. I think
she's not listening.
Oh, yeah.
And
probably
we're not
not
being
alive.
awful. It's funny to say that her stepdad, when he cleaned the car, we would watch him from across the street, like inside, like, what is this guy doing? Because he would hose off the inside of his car.
Oh yeah.
What
Like,
the
he had one of those
fuck?
cars though where that made sense. He had like that made.
He had like
yeah.
a big old truck,
He did
but
do
he
that.
would take the hose to the inside of his car. I don't know if he was like cleaning the bottom, like he had boot gunk down there.
He was just getting her done. That's what he was doing.
Yeah. He was a nice guy, though.
Strange.
Yeah.
He was a real nice guy. Angus, you get to vote now.
Oh shit, do I?
Yeah. You got
Humanoids.
to.
Yeah. That's my
It's
name.
a simple one. Like that just was fantastic, and I've been wanting to see it, and it wasn't boring bores.
Cool. TJ?
So one thing on the movie that I've picked that really sold me, and I was swayed early on, was the fact that you, Mike, shouted so gleefully through the whole thing that you fucking cried. And that sold me on Humanoids from the Deep.
I don't. That is a fucking first for this podcast. Is where somebody was so deep about their fucking movie they cried.
Right, they
Joy.
cried. Like, I'm disappointed my movie
I was
lost
invested.
because I really like for you guys to see his use of angles and light, and like I felt it was a good, decent creature feature, but yeah, I didn't cry.
Yeah, I loved my film.
Yeah.
This and Dead Man are like neck and neck.
All right,
So I do have my my theme for next time.
Yay.
I'm so
Yay.
happy.
Sword and sorcery is the theme for next time.
Yes.
Is what I would like us to watch.
All
What does
right.
that mean?
That
Is that
means-
ninjas?
Like Conan the Barbarian.
That's like
Like-
yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. Conan the Barbarian, Red Sonja,
Kroll.
shit like that.
Ninjas have swords. Shouldn't
Seven
that count?
Voyages of Sinbad, stuff like
Is
that.
There needs to be sorcery and sword.
Yeah,
I'm
not
just
swords
being an
and
asshole
sandals.
like you.
You're
Pretending
being
I
mean.
don't fucking know what words mean.
So, Mike, there has to be sorcery, so you can't watch Alexander.
Oh, god damn it! You're right.
Picked it.
I do love that.
That's
He
swords
forgot the
that is
sorcery.
a movie.
and sandals, not swords and sorcery.
Wait, we're doing
Oh,
swords
is it
and
called-
sandals?
oh.
There is swords and
No,
sandals.
sword and sorcery, guys. Darn it.
I like swords and sandals.
That-
But there's swords
Well,
and
we're doing
sorcery,
sorcery.
which is more magical, obviously.
Yeah, sword and sandals come later in season 4.
Sandals.
Man.
Yeah. Sandals?
Yeah.
Samsung?
fuck is a
Swords and
Samsung?
Samsungs?
Dude, fucking Noah Huntley did a commercial about swords and Samsungs. I fucking got this.
My favorite part of winning this week is that I already bought a beer for next episode if I had one, so I'm
Oh,
excited to be able to
nice,
drink
dude.
it. I was just like, I got this in my pocket. I got this. Let's buy another beer. So,
All right, well, we've been 16 Ounce Cinema. I hope you've enjoyed our creature feature episode. I just want to put it out there that we are now on... Stop it. We are on a lot of new platforms right now. However, we're still looking into branching out further if it merits it. So, like, if you're listening on some platform you'd really rather not and you want us to be somewhere more convenient to you, go ahead and hit us up on Facebook. We'll see if we can get ourselves, on more platforms to make it easier for you to hear us. But, if you're hearing us where it's easy for you to hear, you're welcome.
okay.
Spotify.
Well, I thought Angus was going to do our usual. We always forget, and Angus forgets.
Don't forget to
he's all right.
subscribe and like
No.
us on.
I was ready to do it. You just kind of blanked out, so I thought it was done. All right,
no,
everybody.
I was just done talking.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Everybody, those new outlets he's talking about, we are now on Spotify. We are now on Podbean. As always, we're on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube sometimes.
You could also send us money for no reason. Just send us money.
Yeah, let's start a Patreon. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah,
And then give
you'll
them
get the
no
same
extra
episodes,
content.
but you'll have the pleasure of knowing you've given us money.
No extra content.
This is amazing. I'm starting a Patreon as soon as I get off this
Just
episode.
give
This
us
is a
your
great
money,
idea.
you pieces of nice
Dude, I want a
people.
Patreon just so we can be deplatformed.
Dude, we get banned.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Banned from YouTube. Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude, we're going fucking InfoWars on these fuckers.
Dude, imagine Alex Jones as a guest.
Dude.
I would be so
Oh
happy.
They're
my
turning the
God.
Swamp Things into rapists.
He would have
We'd have-
the best horizon shift.
Oh my god, you're right. We'd have to have a gay frog movie film.
Gay frog movie?
All right.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Oh, and
Follow
also,
us.
don't forget, if you want to
bring
be
a
part of
towel.
our new metal group, send
Oh,
us
yeah.
a message. We'll invite you in. We've been
Goodbye.
16 on Cinema. See ya.
Oh, wow.
How do you fight Keiju emus?